So with makeup, the first thing you want to do is drape your client, just so that you don't get makeup all over your clothes. And you never know, because of dust and all that, what might happen. And so you're going to look at your client's face to see what kind of shape they have. And with Alicia's, it is already an oval. And typically, oval is what everybody was going for. When you go into your aesthetics book and look at all the different faces, but the new information that they're starting to say is make any face beautiful. Don't just try to make them all ovals. But when you're looking into your manual, what you're going to see is the face divided in half. Eyebrows, are they straight? Eyes, are they straight? You know, nose, is it straight? Lips, are they straight? Ears, are they straight? A perfect face would be perfect on 4 sides. So this half and this half is perfect, and in quarters. So then the forehead here, the nose to the brow, nose to the chin. So a third, and a third, and an oval face is what you're looking for. Now with clients who have acne or any kind of facial issues, it could be hormones, it can be food allergies, it could be maybe that they're just not washing their face properly. Anything can happen there. So first thing that what we're going to do is, of course, is wash our own hands first. So get your hand sanitizer and wash your own hands and clean your own hands first. First thing that we're going to do is wash the client's face. So you're going to get some of the facial cream, like I have here lemon milk that I'm going to use from Keanu, but you can use any cleaner. There's hundreds and hundreds of different types that you can use. So once you find a brand that you love, of course, if you were going to go into the Real Facial, you would do exactly what it would say there, and you'd go with their skin types and that too. If not, always go for sensitive skin. You're going to put on cleanser, and you're going to put on half the face first. Careful, of course, if they have any facial rings. Give them a nice little massage at the same time. Now, with cleanser, I'm not really trying to get the product into her face. I just want enough to go on there, and then we're going to take it off. So what I've done is I've wet one of the sponges, and now we're going to take off what we've already put on. So I just fold the sponge in half, and you're going to go down, and then you're going to fold the other half. Now if they have a lot of makeup on before they come, you'd have to use Makeup Remove. When you're going to use a toner, you can have a few choices. You can ask them to close their eyes, and then you're going to mist, if it's a mister, and then you just lightly spray, but you spray first to the side. If not, you can also put it onto a little cotton pad, and then use the toner on there, and then you would tone the face. With moisturizer, what you're going to use is a little triangle, and you're going to get the one side started with the moisturizer also. And so here we're just going to dab lightly first so that there's some product in a few places. And then you're going to just put the moisture in to the face. and go down. And what the moisturizer does is also gets the little sponge ready for the next steps. Last, if you have it, you can put a little bit of eye serum. Put a little bit onto a pinky, and then lightly just dab, just look up, and lightly just dab just underneath the eye. Next step is going to be concealer. So you have different products that you can use. This one here is from Liz Wattier, or Kiano has their concealers in 3 different shades. They have it in a light, a medium, and a green. And so depending what concealer that you decide to use for it, the brushes that we like to use are the little ones, and they work nice to do up for cover up. And so first what we're going to do is pick an ivory. So you're going to pick the lightest color that you have. This one I'm going to use is the Kiano's ivory. And you're going to take just a little bit onto your brush, and then what you're going to do is just lightly go into the different pictures, and you're going to see on your page what you have. And so you're going to go with your number 1 areas. And so with the number 1 area, and if you ever have excess, just put a little bit onto the top of your hand because you've cleaned your hands. And once you've started, we're not supposed to touch their face now that we've cleaned it. We're not supposed to touch their face with our hands. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring the light onto the face to help bring out any dark areas. And so a lot of times in the middle of the eye, and what we want to do is just cross the little lines, and then in the corner here in the eye too. Okay, and then what we're going to do is by the side of the mouth, you'll see on your paper that it has a number 1 there also. We're going to come here to the sides. Now some people have major smile lines or frown lines, and then this would help to conceal that area. So that's all we're going to do right now with the ivory. And so with your brush, if you want, just take it on a Kleenex at first and just lightly take it off. We'll clean the brushes proper after. And so now with number 2, yellow, beige, or medium concealer to help diminish shadows or moderate skin blemishes, covers pimples and pores and that. So you're going to take now the medium color, and again you're taking a little bit off there, and put some onto the hand. And now we have here around the nose, and again we're just going to cut in the nose, cut in. If, depending on the top of their nose, if they had a bump that you wanted to cover up, you could do a little bit of a cover up on the bump. Their smile underneath their lip, if it's too big, bring it in here. If all of a sudden they have too much of a dark area. Some people on their chin, you might want to do it on their chin too, depending on the person. And that's all we're going to do for Alicia on that one. Some people use the lilac, the purple, and if you wanted to bring some purple, it gives a nice little glow on the forehead. If you wanted to have it there, or some people use a little bit on the nose, or you could have a little bit on the chin, just to give them a healthy glow. Now the fun one to use, and I use the smaller little brush for that, is the dark brown. And it's quite interesting what the dark brown can do for somebody. If you were going to do a wedding, you'd bring your clients in a few days prior to the wedding to have a pre-wedding picture, grad or something like that, depending whatever they're going to do fancy. And what you're going to do is never let them see a mirror until after you're done, because if they could see themselves like this, they'd think you were maybe warped and they wouldn't be too happy. But once you actually see the ending of this concealing, it's actually quite amazing. I had a student who used to do Hollywood makeup, and she was taking other aesthetic courses, and she had a panel of concealers of 50 different colors of just concealers. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it from ear to chin, and what we want here is we're just going to go right underneath the ear on the chin. Now we could make somebody have smaller looking chins, because what we're going to do now is create a shadow. So if I want her to have full cheeks, I want this to go underneath. But if I want her to have smaller cheeks, or the illusion of smaller cheeks, I want it to go a little more on an angle. So I can actually move this line depending on what effect I want. So what we're going to do is, and if you need to, touch a shoulder to get some stability. And then the other ear. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line. So we're going to take this and draw a line up. And we have to do this a little bit fast because we don't want it to dry. And we're going to take our little sponge, and now we're just going to go straight down. And it had a little bit of cream on it, but we want to create a shadow, but we need the brown to also disappear. And this is a wonderful little trick with Kiano product. Now we can't leave her with a line either, so we're going to make sure that we get the brown all worked in. Okay. Now what also we want to do is a little bit at the cheekbone. We're going to go to the little knobby and about an inch in and draw a line. Same with the other one. A little bit of the knobby and about an inch in. Draw a line. And then we're just going to what this will do is create a shadow. To the other side. And what you're going to see is all of a sudden her cheekbone pops out. And that's what we want, is that effect of the cheekbone. And then what you can do with the leftover that's on here is just bring a little bit into the hairline and down. I didn't put any more on. I'm just using whatever's there just to soften that up. Lastly, what I'm going to do is get some green and then just cover up any of the pimple area. So anything that's really bright red. You know, also too, you'd want to ask if the person likes their moles. Do you like your moles there, or do you want any of them covered up?
You can keep them.
Keep them. Some people just love them, and some people hate them. So you have to do whatever it is that they like. Don't just assume that they want it gone. So all we're doing here is any red. So when you're ready to start doing the foundation, what you're going to do is just take a little bit first and just dab it on an area that doesn't really have anything yet and see if it blends in. And the color should actually be very natural to them. This one here is Piano Chiffon, and it works really good, so we're going to use this one. And now what we're going to do is start to blend. Again, you just see that I put some onto the top of my hand so that I'm not creating any contamination. And now we're just going to blend. And you see now that all the other colors just start to get covered up. Of course, you move to the other side. And if you need to get a little bit more, get a little bit more. The other brush that works really nice is the contouring brush. You can use these also, and they work the same way as a sponge. I like the sponge a little bit better because it blends it. I don't know if you can see the differences here, but sometimes this leaves on just a little too much. And where if you use the sponge, it seems to blend it nicer. It has a nicer blending effect. So we don't want any streaks. Want to make sure that they're good. You're just going to lift up. You're going to just do a little bit coming down the neck, because if you've chosen the right color, it should blend right in nicely with their neck. Nice. So the effect that you have, I'm just going to go a little closer here. You should have a nice effect, and then you shouldn't be able to see the blemishes, or it should look like they have a one smooth effect on the face. With the makeup, once you're down with the foundation, you can actually get now the talcum, it's like a talcum powder, and it's meant to just help pull off any shine. And so you just put a little bit onto their face and just go around, and it will take away any shiny parts so that they don't look like they have a whole bunch of oil on their face. Now it's your choice next what area to go to. I'm just going to fix the eyebrows just so that they don't dry in a funny position. And so what you're going to ask your client is, do you like your eyes, do you like your cheeks, or do you like your lips the most?
My eyes.
Your eyes. Okay, so with it, then what you're going to do is, most people, when you look at a face, if you go look in magazines and that, unless they're selling the makeup, but normally you're going to notice one area on them. It's either going to be the eyes, the cheeks, or the lips. A lot of times it's usually lips or it's the eyes. But you want then to emphasize one area more and then lightly blend the others in. And there's all kinds of colors that a person can wear. And there are people who are warm colored, or there's people who are cool colored. And the way that you can tell that is by looking at their wrists. And when you look at their wrists, the veins, if we bend her right, the veins here in the wrist are either going to look blue or they're going to look green. And you'll see that on Alicia's, hers actually are bluer than mine. Mine are quite green compared to hers. I'm a warm and she's actually more of a cool. So she would look better in colors that have anything to do with blues, and I'll look better in any colors that have more of the yellowy effects. So with it, you kind of look at somebody and you would check out that. There's other ways to tell too with eyes and hair color and that too to see. Now she has warm tones in her hair, so depending what we're going to do, but her skin is naturally a cool. So we have to be a little careful because of her colors in her hair, that if I do it wrong, it will look funny too. So you want to check. And then if somebody was going to do grad or that, you want to know what other colors are in the party. Like if they're a wedding party, you want to know what are all the bridesmaids, what are, like what is her dress color going to be, because you want to blend it with the colors too. So today though, I'm going to show you more of what a traditional color is, and then with it we'll kind of jazz it up a little bit to show what the new stuff, what they do with makeup is also. So the old-fashioned or typical, I guess, way of doing eyes is 3 colors. And usually there is a light, a medium, and a dark that you could use. And with a light color, I'm going to go with the pinks just for fun today. But with it, you would take the lightest color and you'd ask them to close their eyes. And you put the lightest color over their whole eye, right to the brow. And we only go on an angle here. So we do the whole eye. And the other side also. So the whole eye should have the lightest color. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the next color and you're going to have, you don't want the darkest, it's a medium color that you want to do. And you're going to go only on the bottom lid, just the bottom part, the half eye. And you can also take your brushes and the little soft brushes and then just close and then just blend, because you don't want a line, you want it to nicely go between, and so you can just blend the colors. Then what we want to do is take our darkest color, and now we're just going to do a bit of a V. And we're going to come just at the crease of the eye and down at the lash and out just a little bit. And again, just blend. And depending if you're doing daytime makeup or nighttime makeup, would make a big difference on what your whole motive is of doing the eyes. If depending on what you're going to use for liner, you can then just take your pencil and use it like a sharpener, and then you know you have a clean pencil. And you're going to ask the client to close their eyes. And depending where you're going to go, some people just do a half, and they come just following the lash line. You can do a full lid, or you can get liquid liner. If you're going to use a liquid, just close it. If you're going to use a liquid liner, you're going to notice it goes on very different. A little thicker. And again, if you're going to use half the eye. And then what I like to use with is the little angled brush. And you're just going to smooth that out. And then if you're going to go underneath the eye, you can carry the pencil to do both. And again, you can use the angled brush. If you find that you've gotten a little too much, get a Q-tip close your eyes please, with just a little bit of water, and it can help blend or remove a little bit of color if you didn't like what it was.